welcome. It is, I just looked at the time, and then 9:27, almost 9:30, Sunday, March 22nd, just about 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Um, haven't done a live stream since Thursday. Thursday was, of course, a very long, freewheeling conversation with Aaron Myers. Definitely, absolutely recommend checking it out. Aaron made some really, exactly why I wanted to do this. Aaron made some excellent points just about general facts of the comic media, how people consume them, how they buy them, in a way that I just haven't been able to articulate in a long time. So, hey, Dave. So definitely check it out when you have the time, but it is very long. Um, Today was a really interesting day. If you recall, last Sunday, I think I either did a live stream Monday morning, early Monday, or Sunday, about how busy. Yeah, last Sunday was our busiest day of the year. Did our most business, most amount of people gone through the system. And that doesn't mean most amount of people in the shop, because sometimes we have more people, but they don't buy. But definitely the most amount of people in the system as making purchases. And the most money made. That was last Sunday. This Sunday started off, Dave knows, Dave was in the shop at the beginning of the day. It did not start off incredibly big. It was small. There were a few people coming in little by little by little, but in the hour and a half, I don't remember how long you were there, Dave, but in the hour and a half, 2 hours you were there, eventually I went and got a coffee because there was no one there. Like, but over the course of the day, we had more and more people who bought a few new single issues. And by a few, I'm talking 6 or 7. That's a $30 purchase. It used to be if someone was coming in and they were walking out with a little stack, it was almost always from the dollar books, from the discounted books. They weren't buying a whole bunch of new single issues. That has changed. The market has shifted tremendously. And I will say, throughout, I didn't look at the numbers for today. I really should have before I started the live stream. But the single issue market is almost as big as the DC compact market, because I must have sold like 7 or 8 DC compacts today, easy. Which which is just at the top of my head, probably a lot more if I go into the system. The DC compacts are moving like crazy, but single issues are. I mean, again, I had a guy walk in the back, and he came back 25 minutes later. He comes in basically every Sunday with a stack of 36 comics, 12 for 10. I had another guy spend an hour back there and come with 10 books. And I said, well, it's 12 for 10. He goes, nope, just those 10. I had a guy come in specifically looking for Spawn. I sent him to the back there. He didn't find any Spawn. He left. He said, thank you. He found, I think he bought a single issue he found somewhere else in the shop. But it wasn't a terrible day, considering that it was a little rainy and it was a little, it really wasn't a terrible day for business. There were people in, and the new layout, which is not so new, it's almost a year into this layout of the shop, I think really works. The kids section I just redid. I haven't put up any pictures, but I just redid that on Friday. I redid the kids section a little bit. I think the new layout really works. I think it's going to create a much more directed traffic to specific areas that I already saw, and it's already going to help me move the best-selling stuff already, but move it faster, maybe be able to stock it a little bit wider. So that's good. The main central walls are still not doing crazy business as opposed to the superhero section or the single issue section or even the independent section, self-published, small press. That stuff people look over, they'll spend hours on. The main display of just books with criteria not moving as heavily. I think once I finish the green shelves, which I said is my big final move, rearranging the green shelves, once I do the genres and the green shelves, I think that's going to lock in place a lot of duality of the two sides, and that's going to help. But that's all in the future. Something that someone said to me today, I thought bared note. Someone goes, how you doing? Because last year you had a lot of desperate, stuff up, and you didn't really say anything like that this year. So I said, well, again, obviously, who watches the live stream? This guy's in the shop, every couple weeks with his little kid, He doesn't watch our YouTube channel. So I said, yeah, we had our best February in 3 years, which just means we only took on a little bit of debt. We didn't, because February is terrible for us compared to every other month of the year. February is almost always our worst. Um, I said, but March seems to be also better than last year's March. And if everything stays like that, and that increase stays level percentage wise with the better months, when the months start going up, we're getting 12, 8, even 7% more in those months fully. Not, oh, well, those months are just the same way. That's terrific. We have to wait and see. A lot of it is filling space for that single issue market. If you saw my post on Wednesday, and you'll see it again next Wednesday, we expanded the single issue wall. I made a whole discounted top row. That discounted top row, right? That discounted top row, DCKO, Ultimate stuff. I've had people going through that row, and they're like, they just want, oh, I just was missing these two. Those were in the store the last time that person was in the store, but they didn't see them. I put them out of the way. I put them high up where they're looking up like this, and all of a sudden they want them more. Oh, I went a little Jake Gyllenhaal there. All of a sudden they want them more. No, they're saying that wasn't it at all. Anyway, that's that. That's the business stuff aside. That's what I feel like Sunday, since Sundays are our busiest day, it's always worth talking about. But now we're going to go. I posted the picture for today's episode. The great Sam Keith passed away about a day before the 10th anniversary of the death of the incredible Steve Dillon, artist on Preacher and many other incredible works. Sam Keith, if you don't know, created the Max. The Max was fascinating thing because it was very much a zeitgeist book. Keith made the book. It was very popular. He was already a hugely popular artist at Marvel and independently doing his own little stuff. And when Image took off, he was in the second wave of Image and put out the Max. But unlike almost everyone else in Image, his media deal worked smoothly and quickly. And the Max, at about issue 13, started appearing on MTV's Liquid Television, along with Aeon Flux and other really experimental, cool cartoons. And that was a game changer. Okay, so you have to remember, Image's first 3 or 4 years, they were the hottest thing. They were in Newsday. I don't think Time Magazine ever covered them, but a bunch of magazines, Life, I think, did a little piece about them after their second year. They were like superstars, right? Rob Liefeld has a freaking Levi's commercial that I believe Spike Lee, right, directed. Am I right? Something like that. These guys were superstars, and Sam Keith just literally leapfrogged over Spawn movie in the works, Wildcats TV show being worked on, and just boom, went into the coolest, funkiest MTV. The music video people are now making funky, funky cartoons, and they're doing this Image character, the Max. What? The Max blew up to a degree where Sam Keith's already slow, schedule really got in the way. But the Max is a comic that was printed so heavily and is hard to find to this day because it's just people see it and they go, "Oh, that's that cartoon," and they love it. It's like if the Ninja Turtles never went corporate. It's kind of the Max. So that's Sam Keith's legacy, but his art style, he is one of those people. I put him up there with Simon Bisley, Kelly Jones, of course, who he's often paired with when people talk about them. In someone who's intensely aware of every rule he's breaking when he does it. He was able to. He has pictures of Batman where Batman looks like such a freaking dork, and it's like intentionally so, yet it's still bold and gothic somehow because he's already moved you into this absurdist reality with the way he draws, and it's something Sam Keith was able to do in a way that people talk about other people. They talk about Rob. They talk about current people, Daniel Warren Johnson. Those people are like moons to the sunlight that was Sam Keith. Sam Keith is Kelly Jones just posted this today about Sam. He said that they had a talk about inking in '94. The two of them were hanging out together. Oh, Dave, you went to the new book cafe? Excellent. they had to talk together that they would both from then on refer to as the conversation because it changed both of their approach, both of what the other had to say about inking really sunk into their heads. So it's fascinating to me. Um, what an influential and important creator he was. Simon Bisley, I don't know if he's posted yet about it, but Biz was a huge Sam Keith fan. Jim Lee was a huge Sam Keith fan. I know Rob Liefeld's probably preparing a whole long. He was friends with him, you know. So it's a blow, and then to see that it's 10 years since we lost Steve Dillon. Just think about how many of these great creators are out there who did this seminal work, but you know they haven't done anything in a couple of years. Sam Keith did a Batman Max crossover. I was supposed to be making new issues of the Max, and it never came out. How many of these creators like we've sort of like we don't think about? So, as always, it's something to think about. Like, contact some of your favorite creators from the 90s and 80s. People who, you know, if you can find them on social media, reach out to them, tell them how great they are, tell them how much you appreciated them. Um, and yeah, until next time, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.